Hi, this is Bob Gersh with East Coast Capital, and today's topic is why today's housing market isn't headed for a crash. Why today's housing market isn't headed for a crash? 67% of Americans say a housing market crash is imminent in the next 3 years. With all the talk in the media lately about shifts in the housing market, it makes sense why so many people feel this way. But there's good news. Current data shows today's market is nothing like it was before the housing crash in 2008. Back then, mortgage standards were less strict. During the lead up to the housing crisis, it was much easier to get a home loan than it is today. Banks were creating artificial demand by lowering lending standards and making it easy for just about anyone to qualify for a home loan or refinance an existing one. As a result, lending institutions took on much greater risk in both the person and the mortgage products offered. That led to mass defaults, foreclosures, and falling prices. Today, things are different, and purchasers face much higher standards from mortgage companies. On our blog at askbobgersh.com, we have 3 graphs. I'm going to try to describe them, but I suggest if you go to askbobgersh.com, you can be able to see, and we do that Monday through Friday, but you can see the actual graphs printed out, which will explain a lot of what I'm saying. So I suggest you do go there for that information to askbobgersh.com. The graph on those blogs says, uses data from the Mortgage Bankers Association to help tell the story. In this index, the higher the number, the easier it is to get a mortgage. The lower the number, the harder it is. Lending regulations remain stable. Historical data from the Mortgage Credit Availability Index, called the MCAI, reading from it, basically back in June of 2004, it was at, the index was at 400. And around 2006 to 7, the housing bubble, it went up to 868.7. So very easy to get a mortgage. Almost, the index was almost at 900. It dropped drastically down to just over 100 by June of 2008, and stayed steady, a little incline, but not much, to maybe 200 in 2019. And here we are in 2022, as of November of that year, last year, it was 103.3. So it went from 103 now compared to at the housing bubble, 868. So drastic reduction. The graph also shows just how different things are today compared to the spike in credit availability leading up to the crash. Tighter lending standards have helped prevent a situation that could lead to a wave of foreclosures like the last time. Foreclosure volume has declined a lot since the crash. Another difference is the number of homeowners that are facing foreclosure when the housing bubble burst. Foreclosure activity has been lower since the crash, largely because buyers today are more qualified and less likely to default on their loans. The graph, again, at askbobgersh.com, shows the data from ATTOM to show the difference between last time and now. Foreclosure starts, past and present. Lenders started the process on 63,538 U.S. properties in the fourth quarter of 2022. So you'll see by looking at the graph that the time periods from June of 04 basically had it as high as 600 starts. Now we're down to 100, basically. So significant, and then I went down from there to 60 something, and it's now back up to about 100,000 starts. So even as foreclosures tick up, the number is still very low, And on top of that, most experts don't expect foreclosures to go drastically like they did following the crash of 2008. Bill McBride, founder of the Calculated Risk, explains the impact a large increase in foreclosures had on home prices back then and how that's unlikely this time. The bottom line is there is an increase in foreclosures over the next year from record low levels, but there will not be a huge wave of distressed sales as happened during the housing bubble. The distressed sales during the housing bubble bust led to cascading price declines, and that will not happen this time. The supply of homes for sale today is more limited. For historical context, there were too many homes for sale during the housing crisis, many of which were short sales and foreclosures, and that caused prices to fall dramatically. Supply has increased since the start of the year, but there is still a shortage of inventory available overall, primarily due to years of underbuilding of homes. The graph, again, at askbobgersh.com, uses data from the National Association of Realtors to show how the month's supply of homes available now compared to the crash. Today, unsold inventory sits at just 2.7 months supply at the current sales pace, which is significantly lower than last time. There just isn't enough inventory on the market for home prices to come crashing down like they did last time, even though some overheated markets may experience slight declines. Housing supply is lower than last time. Looking at the charts, it shows that the annual average of month supply of homes for sale from 1999 to 2022. Back in 99, it was like 4.8 months, but 2007 to 2010, it went from 8.9 up to 10.4, 8.8, and then 9.4 in 2010. 2011, 8.3. Now, starting in 2019, we're 3.9, 2020, 3.1, 2021, 2.3 months, and 2022, 2.7 months. So a significant lower supply than was available back last time there was a housing issue. The bottom line, if recent headlines have you worried where we're headed for another housing crash, the data above should help ease those fears. Expert insights and the most current data clearly show that today's market is nothing like it was last time. This is Bob Gersh from East Coast Capital, and we do this blog as well as a video and a podcast Monday through Friday. I encourage you to check out past issues as well as the future ones each day. And if I can be of any assistance, please get in touch with me. Again, the best way to do that is go to askbobgersh.com, and my contact number is on that site. And if I can be of any help, just give me a call, contact me. And if you see me around one of the local coffee shops, tap me in the shoulder. Let's have coffee together, and we can talk about whatever you'd like to talk about. Bob Gersh, East Coast Capital. Have a great day, a great week. Just enjoy, and we'll see you around. Thank you.